I did not know that was the call sound. That's really funny. Yeah, so I'm Shplop. I'm gonna be the coach of the Shangdong Dewdongs. So the team name, I had a tough time coming up with it. I was like, I don't want to do like, I was very close to doing Pittsburgh Steelixes. I was very close, which would have been kind of funny. But a friend recommended that to me, and I was like, that's so good. Because then right after, I thought about, I was like, what can I make the icon? And I thought about the Qing Dynasty, and their flag is basically what the Dugong logo is. It's just like a dragon in the middle with a star in the corner, and I don't know. Dugong's a very funny Pokemon, and unfortunately, I'll get into it. But unfortunately, Dugong is 10 points. So little
Ugh.
guy will have to rest for the season.
Okay, let's move on to the bulk of this if you're ready.
Oh yeah. So draft. I mean, this is my first time I've done a draft league, and I played a lot of BGC just casually, like during class or just waiting for doing nothing. But here, let me share. I wrote all of the notes down in my notebook. I wasn't gonna do anything. First, I was gonna go into this and be like, I was gonna draft whatever good Pokemon are available at the time. But I got to thinking a little bit, and I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll actually try a little bit for this. It's a little more interesting, I think, for myself and everyone else. Sorry, I don't usually stream. Give me 1 second.
You're good.
But yeah, so this is the first page of the notebook I made. It's honestly it's not comprehensible. It's just a bunch of Pokemon I like. This was also before I figured out what draft pick I was. Because at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like 17th or something. I'm gonna draft Mega Camrupt for sure. Because he's a big guy. He learns, I think, sheer force. And that's just like what I'm looking for. But then I got first pick. And I was like, all right, well, now I have to choose an actual good Pokemon for my first pick. And I have to plan it out. So first thought went to Archelodon. Archelodon, I think it's pretty obvious, especially like if anyone watches the normal metronome battles on your Instagram, like that guy's crazy. Like, I mean, just steel typing so good and stamina so good. And I was like, all right, how do you build a team around him? And I got to thinking a lot. I was like, I'm not going to talk about him too much because ended up deciding not Archelodon, even though I wrote full page of notes of what I'd want to recruit with him. The main reason being, I just think I love Archelodon. I think it's a funny Pokemon. Feels a little boring to me. Like, I don't know, like the guy just like sits there with leftovers. I mean, that's how I assume you want to run. And then you click metronome 16 times, you probably get maybe one kill and then you struggle. Like, not too like interesting a stuff you can do with Archelodon. And it's just and the main thing, one of the reasons also I switched off is I watched Cam's post interview, and the team that I ended up being like, oh, this is what I'd draft for Archelodon looked very similar. He was like, oh yeah, Nido Queen was a huge part of my team. And at that point, I was like, I really want Nido King on my team because I thought he'd be really good. And I was like, oh, I can't just draft what is accidentally almost the same team as someone did last season. So changed my mind again, went back and forth looking through the top list. And honestly, this isn't even finalized, but almost certainly this is another just Archelodon notes. I was more making teams. But I ended up on Mega Gengar because I feel like Mega Gengar or just any Pokemon with Shadow Tag is very interesting in like a metronome league, especially with like intimidate Pokemon. Like you can just cripple the Pokemon that are on the field and just keep switching in and out, intimidate Pokemon and just kind of beat them down. And that really more so that's what I'm gonna end up doing, either Mega Gengar or what I also found was really strong. I haven't done much testing, except I did a tiny bit. And Rocky Helmet, I think people probably already know this, but Rocky Helmet, like Iron Barbs or Rough Skin is really good. Like I would hesitate to guess that I probably, if I got Mega Gengar, being that I'd be last in the second round, I probably couldn't get Garchomp. But very strong pair.
That'd
But
be
it just
scary.
seems, yeah. I mean, it would be that. It's just like, well, it's, I don't know. The chip that you get with that is crazy. But I'll probably change. I'll probably stick with Mega Gengar and hope I can get like at least like Sharpedo or something, which I'd still be happy with because that guy is pretty funny. But I was also thinking about other like necessary guys I have to have on my team, which is like you obviously need Intimidate. I feel like Flame Body is very good because I feel like people will draft. I mean, their star Pokemon's always gonna like most likely gonna be like a Steel type or something, or like some of the strongest. So like a Flame Body like Scorch or Magcargo, Magmar. I did a little bit of testing and Magmar just doesn't die with Eviolite. That guy just stays on the field. He's got a little guy in his head. Just does nothing. But this will probably be what I end up eventually drafting. Let me look in the notes. Uh, One guy I really want to have on my team. I might get him number 2 because I think the guy is really fun. He's a wordier. I did whenever I played a decent amount of VGC. I like to try to build my teams myself, and I never had too much success. But I made a Wordier team. And Wordier is a really funny Pokemon. It's the weirdest stat line ever. It's like a mixed attacker that's slightly bulky, but I think having a good like normal type uh, uh intimidator, so you can get stab on the normal, is extremely strong. I feel like Wordier is very cheap at 2 points. But that's if I had like a sleeper pick. Yeah, I don't think it's actually a sleeper pick, so I don't think he's actually good, but that's what I really want on my team. What else? Let me look. Ace, I mean, it's even though it's like technically Mega Gengar, like I don't know. If I get like Magmar or something, that like a Gen 1 unevolved Pokemon, that would make me really happy. That would be my ace. That's the guy I like the most. But um overrated. I mean, I don't know enough about metronome battles. There's not that many like one thing I'm most scared about though, and it's something like if I was trying to really win this league, that's what I would pick. Is Goldango seems so good. Like I even like at 20 points, I don't understand like I feel like a bad person internally. Like I couldn't live my day, sleep like soundly at night if I drafted Goldango round 1. Doesn't sound right to me. He's got everything going for him. It's not fair. But that's basically what I plan for my draft to be. I basically just want I definitely want I want one Intimidate Pokemon. I want to do Shadow Tag, most likely Mega Gengar, have a Flame Body, probably a Defiant. That's probably also what I'm most scared about, is I think Defiant and Competitive Mons are also insanely good. Like in the small bit of testing I did, like not only did you get a lot of random stat drops, but I feel like Intimidate is really strong, obviously, because Metronome is not usually that good, so switching that is better. But that's definitely what I'm also most scared about. Try to bring it back together to like a cohesive line of thought. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place because I've had a lot of random thoughts about what to draft because I've just had no idea.
No, you're good. You got to put it all into one place, which you haven't yet.
Yeah, that's a tough. As I'll understand a lot more about my team and how I want to play once I draft it and I play like 2 weeks. I feel like I don't really know fully what to expect going into the metronome battle. Like, I just don't know what strategy. Like that's probably what I'm. Uh, the other teams I'm worried about this draft are just teams that I've played last season. Even like even like a team with perhaps 3 Porygons, I'm even a little scared of that because at least he knows what like he's played this a lot before. I don't know what's going on here. Anything could be going on.
You have heard about the legends of Chris's run, right?
No, no, I'm not. Did he? What? What happened?
So last season, I'll give everybody the lore if you didn't know. He started the season 1-8. Then he went on to win 10 of 11, winning the entire losers bracket, going into the playoffs because someone dropped, and almost upsetting the guy who lost in the finals.
That is really funny. Oh my god. That's the funny thing is early on I changed my mind because I do like I think the Porygon Pokemon are really actually cool, but I'm not gonna draft them. I get shot.
You're not gonna
Like
take one?
I can I was even thinking about Porygon 1 because I was like that guy I think Trace would be really fun to play with, but I really like I don't think I could show my face around the server. I think I'd get flamed every time I talked if I took him. Which I forgot who there's someone else looking to take Porygon, and I don't know who it is, but
Are you thinking of
they better
just
be
chilling?
careful. Yeah. I'm chilling. I'm not going for the Porygon, but someone else. But yeah. Um other stuff about other teams. Well, luckily I get the first pick, but I'm honestly I have no idea how to plan. I just don't think I can plan for my second and third pick because luckily it's a snake draft. It'll be very convenient. So I'll be able to do both of my second and third picks back to back. But like like ideal like there's a good chance that all the relevant rough skin Pokemon get drafted before me. And that's one reason why I flip flopped on if I really want to bring Mega Gengar because I feel like that strategy. I mean, it's insanely good. I think I wouldn't. It would be super hard to draft, but I just think it's not as strong without like some. I mean, you could put a Flame Body. It's just not as relevant. And honestly, like just having a Pokemon like Ferrothorn with like Rocky Helmet that does a lot of like sure, like you might get one shot occasionally, but I think that's just the differential. Like, not a big deal. So that's what I'm most scared about is that the Pokemon, like I feel like other Pokemon I really want for my strategy being drafted right before me for my second and third pick. But any pick after that, I feel like I have some good like I know what Pokemon I want to draft low before I want to draft high. I definitely want Wordier, as I've talked about before. I love that guy. I do also really want Yanmega. Now because of speed boost, but I feel like tinted lens choice specs is I mean it's a very strong because I feel like Intimidate will probably be pretty good. Um I honestly I don't know how the division system works.
Well, I
Uh
can give you a rundown on it if you want it.
yeah, sure.
Okay, so the way it works is you guys are going to be in groups of 5, and
Uh-huh.
you play everybody in that group twice.
Okay.
And then there's another division that you only play once. And if you win your division, you get to go to the playoffs no matter what.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a hilarious division then because I have the person who won last, right? Papple.
Yep. Papple's the champion.
Yep. That. And I feel like correct me if I'm wrong. What Mr. Wubbsington, Mr. Wubbs, I don't know, call him by his official name. He's a big fan of Empoleon, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And and I feel like I don't like actually Empoleon seems like such a good Pokemon. That's why I was talking earlier about competitive. Because I feel like that just does especially steel typing. I don't know if there's any other steel competitive Pokemon. I mean, there's obviously the Bisharp line for Defiant, but that I'm also surprisingly very scared of. Like, I feel like that's really easy to lose to. Let me go back to the notes on my phone.
You're
Um,
prepared.
what? No, just the questions you sent me.
Okay. I can ask them if you want to. I didn't know which way you wanted
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Which
I was just honest. I'm fine with whatever.
if you can go on this way if you want to, since you're ready this far.
Sure, yeah. You know, I'm sorry. I just realized I probably have not been reading out every question I've been answering.
It's not a big
I
deal. You're
think
good.
so. Apologize about that. I'll make it a little more convoluted, but who do I think is gonna win it all before Before we, oh, who do you think? I don't know. That's the problem. Is I don't know what people's strategies are. Um, I mean, the only person I know I know two people's strategies, which is Chris gets 3 Porygons. That's his strategy. And then I watched the Cam's video, his interview, and he seems like he kind of knows what's going on. So,
Oh, he has put so much time into this. He already did his first pre-draft interview, and he spent 47 minutes talking about strategies for this season.
yeah, like I have not gone. I've thought of strategies, and I've written many notes about Pokemon I want for strategies, but I just don't know. I've not developed the strategies. Like I have very basic game, like how I want games to go. But I mean, if I had I don't mean I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone else, so I'm just gonna say probably Cam, just because he seemed very prepared whenever I watched that interview.
Oh, I was impressed. He has such good speaking skills, and he just did a great job with it.
Hmm. Yeah, it was very entertaining to watch. Let me see if I missed any other draft questions for if you want to move on to other things. Oh, actually, I actually would like to talk about the point system because I've put a lot of thought into how to work around it. And I think how I'm gonna approach like my strategy for the point system for drafting is I think I'm trying to draft like 2 higher point Pokemons. Like I'll probably do Mega Gengar as one of them, and then like if I can get a rough skin Pokemon, I'll choose that. But otherwise, I'll pick some like very offensive mon or something, and then just every other Pokemon be like around 3 points or lower, or like 2 points, so I can just fill in the blanks. So I feel like there's a lot of I like a lot of random Pokemon. I don't. There's a lot of Pokemon that are just they're definitely not good, but they have a really big soft spot in my heart. I mean, like I wrote in Noctowl. I think that guy is really cool, but definitely not that good of a Pokemon. But I just want to fill my team up with like then the rest of my team with just decent lower tier Pokemon. So then I can be more flexible for the point system. Another thing I've also thought about, and I don't know if it's possible for me to fit it in also with my point system. I think it'd probably be worse off. Is I feel like also I wish I had a way to counter weather teams. I don't want to draft a weather team just because it seems like at least you said something very early on that kind of scared me off of doing it. I was originally gonna do a snow team, but then you're like 3 people are already planning on doing snow teams. And I was like, oh well. like, but so I got scared off that. But I feel like if you don't have a way to deal with weather, I feel like those teams are really rough. Like, I don't know. I was looking at especially like Snowval, Ice Body seems very good. Let's see. Any other draft questions I missed, or for anything you want to say?
Um, Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. I can loop back if needed.
Oh, yeah. Or loop back to yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah. So you answer. I'll give you the random questions. You want that? We can do that open
Sure, yeah.
ended. Okay. So these ones are just for fun. What was the first Pokemon game you ever played? That was mainline.
Hmm. I think technically it was my sister's copy of Pokemon Ruby, but the first game I actually like played as a kid, and I was really young at this time, was Fire Red. And I didn't know, and the game was too complicated for me as a kid. Because I could not figure out how to get the Poke Flute, so I never got past that part of the game.
What was your favorite generation?
Favorite generation? That's a toughie. Um, I think generically, I have to say, oh, actually, I think Gen 3. Pokemon Emerald's my favorite Pokemon game for sure. I really like everything about it. And especially, I really like almost every Pokemon from that generation. I think they're really all hits.
Okay. Counter side. What is your least favorite?
Ugh, that's tough. That's hard to say. I love even like I think technically my least favorite generation has to be Gen 8 because it has some of my least favorite designs. I really hate like Greedent. I really despise Greedent. And then there's I don't know. There's a lot of bad Pokemon from that generation. Even though I do really like Choodle, big fan of Choodle, but I just think the Pokemon designs in it are terrible.
And okay, so this last one, you can talk a little bit if you have any strong opinions. It's just your Pokemon hot takes.
Pokemon hot take?
Your hot takes about stuff that you feel very passionate about.
Oh, that's Pokemon hot take? Huh. Feel very passionate about? Um, I think I think people care. This is a simple thing. I think people care a lot about like Pokemon being gone from games. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Like even like the most recent game, my favorite Pokemon Starmie is not in Gen 9, and I was a bit upset, but I don't think it's that big of a deal that Pokemon are gone from the games. Like it's that, and also I also don't personally care about graphics in any game at all, so I've never been bothered by that stuff at all.
Got anything else with that or no?
Um, Not I honestly I don't really have like any crazy takes about Pokemon. I just like a lot of Pokemon I think that people think are bad. Like I don't know. I love the like a Zamazenta. I think it looks really goofy and stupid. Even though I said Gen 8 was my least favorite. Like I don't know. I like a lot of ugly Pokemon.
Okay. To end this off, is there you got anything you want to shout out?
Shout out. Um Yeah, one of my friends, Squid, just helped me figure out like what team to pick. 'Cause I was really having a tough time choosing between Archelodon and like Mega Gengar, but he helped me out. At least pick was more fun. But I think that's all. I don't really have any other shout outs to. I mean, I hope the Lions win. That game's going on right now. That dates when this interview
It
is.
is currently
But
halftime. I have the game on
yeah,
too.
I know. I live in Illinois, but I've been a Lions fan since I've been little, and it's been very exciting in the past couple of years to see them do well.